Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business. Complicated. I've just received a call from Secretary Clinton. To all Republicans and Democrats and independents across this nation, I say it is time for us to come together as one united people. I pledge to every citizen of our land that I will be president for all Americans. Working together, we will begin the urgent task of rebuilding our nation and renewing the American dream. America will no longer settle for anything less than the best. Reclaim our country's destiny and dream big and bold and daring. We have to do that. We're going to dream of things for our country, and beautiful things and successful things once again.
Boy, find 3 people in Washington who thought that was going to happen. You can't. Story of the century. Good evening and welcome to a special edition of Tucker Carlson Tonight, the show that is the sworn enemy of lying, pomposity, smugness, and groupthink, none of which you will see tonight. We're going to dive into the first 100 days of the Donald Trump presidency. Perhaps no issue has been as big for him during the campaign and for this country as immigration. Here's a look back at how he says he plans to deal with that issue if elected president.
On day one, we will begin working on an impenetrable, physical, tall, powerful, beautiful southern border wall. 2 million people, criminal aliens. We will begin moving them out day one, as soon as I take office, day one. Homeland Security and the Department of Justice to begin a comprehensive review of these cases in order to develop a list of regions and countries from which immigration must be suspended until proven and effective vetting mechanisms can be put in place. I call it extreme vetting, right? Extreme vetting.
Well, joining us now for the hour, as Larry King used to say, Jessica Tarloff, a Democratic strategist, Charlie Hurt with the Washington Times, the star of the Washington Times, honestly, and Molly Hemingway of The Federalist. It's great to see you all.
Yeah.
I'm just going to start in this order and then jump in. Molly Hemingway, there's no question, I think, just to those of us who watched from afar this campaign unfold, immigration at the center of it. Trump made a lot of pretty specific promises on the subject. Does he have to keep them?
Well, I think that a lot of people said that Donald Trump didn't care a lot about issues during this campaign.
Right.
He actually did care a lot about issues, and immigration was one of those topics that he hit early, and it was a big reason why he got support early on. And there's a big desire for people to work on this issue. Now, is he going to deport 12 million people? I would say no, but you get a lot of understanding about where he's going with his nomination of Jeff Sessions. There's a lot that can be done simply through enforcing the laws that are on the books.
At DOJ, at Justice Department.
Yes, Jeff Sessions as Attorney General. And Jeff Sessions is very much a law and order guy. He very much believes that the laws on the books should be enforced, and there's a lot of room for getting a lot done just that way. So I think that that's probably the best indicator of what's going to happen.
Personnel is policy. That's absolutely right. The wall, Charlie, the wall.
Yeah.
I'm one of the rare people who lives here. I didn't mock the wall. I think the wall makes a lot of sense. Are we going to get a wall?
No, and you know, everybody has walls. There are walls everywhere, and there's supposed to be walls, and there are walls. You know, the 2006, I think it was, Fence Act that both Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama voted for.
Yeah.
That's essentially, you know, the wall that he was so ridiculed for. And I think that a big reason why Trump was such a surprise here is because he did pick immigration. And immigration is something that both, you know, Democrats have been, you know, for open borders for a long time now. And even Democrats, I mean, Republicans had sort of started to become in favor of open borders. They'd been sort of jeered into the corner thinking that, oh, my gosh, I'm a racist if I don't support open borders. And so he kind of took both parties by surprise.
Oh,
and then
sure.
And then all the people, like, jumped in behind it. To answer your question about whether we get a wall or not, I don't know whether we're going to have a physical Great Wall of China along the southern border with a big, fat, beautiful door. But I think that if he simply enforces the laws that are currently on the books and deports, you know, people who have committed crimes beyond that, and does something about, controlling, stopping the ongoing flow into the country, I think you do that much, and you are like 80% have solved the problem.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of pressure comes off of not only of him in terms of keeping his wall promise, but also in terms of what happens to the remaining illegal aliens who are here otherwise obeying the law or
right. So once you don't feel overwhelmed, you can make rational decisions. Yeah. Jessica, I have a promise I'm not going to pick on you for the hour. We don't agree on this issue.
Only like 57 minutes.
Oh, 58 in that range.
She can handle
what's the argument against a wall? I know everyone's like, oh, the wall. But like, what is the rational, since you're a rational person, what is the argument against a wall?
I actually don't think there is much of an argument against a wall. I think that Democrats always should have had a kind of piecemeal but in one approach, which is we'll secure the border, whether you're going to do that physically or with border agents. I mean, the Gang of Eight bill had, I think it was 20,000 border agents, which was more than Donald Trump was proposing. I don't think Democrats are actually against this. I think that they get scared, first of all, about keeping Latino votes. Right, which, I mean, this election has kind of upended that block voting rule, so we're going to see where that goes in the future. And I think that they just wanted to oppose Republicans largely.
Right.
So we have a net flow out of Mexican immigrants at this point. I mean, we had 1 million less than we did 2 years ago, I believe it is. And we're going to see where we go with this. But I think Donald Trump can be really smart about this, and he can put more border agents there. I don't know if you're going to be able to build a wall or if you can put in more fencing. But if you put more agents in, and then you also start talking about the fact that you understand that the vast majority of these illegal immigrants who are here are hardworking, genuine people who just want a better life, and talk about a pathway to citizenship. I don't know what language he has to use, but over 60% of Americans favor that. I mean, this where it's interesting. I mean, the Trump base, build the wall, lock her up, all of that kind of stuff, but the country isn't there, and now he's the president for all Americans.
You could solve this problem like tomorrow if you crack down on employers hiring people who are not here legally, it seems to me. There's a lot of pressure not to do that.
Pressure from both parties.
That's, from the Republicans, really, on that question. Yeah. I mean, it really is a chamber of commerce.
And what's the only people that don't have a chamber or don't have lobbyists working on their behalf in that whole argument are American workers.
Right, no, that's totally right, George Shafik.